Universus is one of the coolest IP-based card games in the TCG world today. However, as a new player, it can have a rather intimidating price point for entry. From sweeping daggers to walk the dogs to determined advance, it can feel impossible to break into this card game and do well at your locals as a new player with a limited budget. That's why we've created this series, and in it, I'm going to walk you through a solid, easily upgradable deck that you can take to your locals and win games with right away. My name is Paul with Coping with Cardboard, and this is Budget Builds in a Flash. Today, we're going to be talking about one of my personal favorite characters in Universus, Lady Ymir the Jaw Titan. This character has been a menace ever since she was introduced to the format in Attack on Titan Set 1, and has shown little signs of slowing down, even with the recent ban of Immortal Shapeshifter, which was one of her best foundation pieces. However, as with any meta character, she has quite an intimidating price point for entry with her staple attack package, which includes two very powerful and pretty hard to come by secret rares. That's why my friend and fellow member of CWC, Richard Bernard, has concocted this beautiful budget Ymir list that is powerful, fast-paced, and available for the same price you would pay for a new player Clash deck. Let's check it out together. Let's talk about the character. Ymir is a powerful 7-hand size character with 23 health, the Survey Core trait, and the Fire and Life symbols. Her top ability states, lose 1 health, this attack gets +2 damage. A solid and consistent way to get just a little bit of damage pump on her moves. Additionally, she is one of my favorite forms in the game. Once per turn, you may build 1 foundation from your card pool. Then, if a player has 9 or more foundations, transform Ymir? We'll get to that second part in a second. But her ability to build from the card pool heavily enables her early game build turns. It is pretty common to build 5, 6, sometimes even 7 foundations on your opening turn if you're going second. It is not always the best idea, as we want to keep cards in our hand to block with, but sometimes it gives us some really strong early game board pressure. Now, let's acknowledge the elephant, or should I say, the Titan in the room. Let's look at that second form. As this is an Attack on Titan character, she has the ability to transform into a Titan, and do that we shall. Ymir Jaw Titan gains the additional Titan trait, and has a static effect that says, for no cost, all your attacks get +2 speed, period. With how hard other characters have to work to get +2 speed, this static is incredibly strong. Additionally, the ability we've all been waiting for, she has the enhance your attack, gain 1 health, your attack gets +X damage. X equals the number of times you have gained health this turn. So, for each time we gain health throughout our turn, we get to pump our attacks even more. The more attacks we play, the stronger she gets, leading to some devastating stats towards the end of the kill string. Finally, she has the Enhance Commit. This attack gets -3 speed, which gives us a little bit of flexibility to reduce our rival's move and block if we need just a little bit more defense. Richard has split the deck into 4 categories: life gain, life loss, build, and kill. The first category we'll be discussing is life gain. Life gain cards are cards that give us health, and speed up Ymir's Titan side by gaining health and pumping damage. As we are on the fire symbol instead of the life symbol, which is her preferred meta build, we lose a lot of the life gain that isn't on our face. However, our face should be all that we need. And, even still, we get 2 incredibly meta-relevant cards that help us out a little bit: Brief Respite and Recuperation Time. These 2 cards help us pump a little bit of additional damage early on in the string, put pressure on our rival to block earlier than they may want to, and allow us to break through their board a bit more effectively. In addition to life gain cards, we need to have life that we can actually gain, as in UVS we can't ever go past our max health. So we also have life loss cards. These are cards that make us pay or lose health. This is the part of the deck I'm most excited about because it includes one of my favorite cards from Jetburn, Blueflame Immolation. This card gives us a card pool response to always be able to burn for 1 health throughout our string, and sometimes give us a little bit of extra speed and damage. Speed being something that this character has always been severely lacking, even in her meta builds. Paying the cost is also a great way to burn ourselves a little and give us that extra little bit of damage that we need to get through and kill our rival. Additionally, we want to get to 8 foundations as fast as we possibly can. So we have build cards to help us get foundations so that we can transform our character as quickly as possible. These cards will either help us get foundations to add to our hand to build, or be sneaky and transform when our rival least expects it. 2 of these are rather known quantities in Wild Pussycats, as well as the card Desperate Plea. But one of my favorite additions to this deck is number 4 Pro Hero, which allows us to review it and then build it in during the review step to sneak that extra foundation in and get to 9 just a little bit easier. Finally, we have the most exciting part of the deck, kill cards. These are cards that help us do exactly that, kill them. These cards gain big stats that work in tandem with our character to reward us for what we already naturally want to do. Peaceful Rebuke lets us get +4 total speed as long as we've gained life this turn. False Visage gives us a ton of stats as long as we have multiple ways to gain health. And Battle While Bandaged is a sick, teaming with the Attack Titan shaped move that lets us play one more pretty big move at the end of a string. Altogether, this deck comes in at a little over $15, which in my opinion is nuts for a deck of this caliber. This deck can be incredibly potent, even without its pricier, more meta cards. For example, my buddy Richard took this to locals the other night and finished 2-1, only losing to the Beast Titan, with a build that is eerily similar to a certain content creator you may or may not know. As always, if you'd like some ideas to upgrade this list, I have listed some options as well as prices in the description below, as well as an ideal goal build for this list if you want to upgrade it right away. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep coping.